Record. All right, we're officially recording. So welcome to Next Level Coaches August Team Pow Wow. I was just sharing with a few people before we got started recording what my vision is for these monthly meetings moving forward is really just to kind of help focus us all on the things that we're trying to accomplish and steer where we're going. And we're going to make some decisions in these groups that's going to kind of help guide us as we go through, like talk about incentives that, maybe I'll offer instead of just dropping them out there for everybody, different types of things like that, and see where you think you guys can add value to this and ask questions. And I want this to be very interactive. So that being said, any of you guys that are here live, please just come off mute at any time. Like Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Just come off mute at any time if you have a question or if you have something to add. What's up, Joel? Jeff's at National Night Out, so he's calling in after that. So thank you, Jeff, for everything you do in our communities to keep us safe. I do have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to jump into that real quick. That's not it, so just bear with me. Okay, here we go. So, like I said, this is our August powwow. Nothing fancy on this slide, just really wanted to make a simple PowerPoint so I could kind of share with you guys what's going on. I wanted to share this because I know a lot of you guys probably know this information, but this is really great for all the new coaches we have, and we have lots of new coaches, y'all. Y'all are doing an amazing job, like sharing this gift and paying it forward and awakening people to what's possible. So this is a rank up. This is how a rank up works. Our rank up system is point based. And, this is even good information for people that have been coaching for a while because not everybody knows how this works exactly. So every $1,200 in frontline qualifying volume, that's our FQV, aka client orders, is 1 point. Or every senior coach team equals 1 point. So that's a very basic thing, but I want to make sure everybody understands that as we start celebrating these rank ups, you know what they mean, right? So this is directly off of Coach Answers, so you can kind of see how the ranks correlate with the qualifying points. And, this is where you start. Obviously, your first major milestone is always senior coach. That's $1,200 in group qualifying volume and 5 ordering entities. The difference here, group qualifying volume. So if you have coaches that are in your line of business that you have sponsored, then their frontline volumes count towards you hitting that first goal of senior coach. So say as your business grows, and this is important to understand, as your business grows, you might hit senior coach on day 2 because you have coach teams that are, their volumes are, they might have a $300 or $400 or $600 worth of orders going through, and you might have 5 ordering entities, but they're all in maintenance or, ordering partial orders. You'll still hit senior coach because you have group qualifying volume for senior coach. So then beyond that, once you qualify as a senior coach, then it's just 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, all the way up to executive director. When we say blended ED, because we're going to talk about that later, a blended ED means you might only have 4,800 in your frontline qualifying volume, but you have a senior coach team. So that 4,800 in frontline qualifying volume gives you 4 points, and then your senior coach team gives you another point. So that combines for 5 and makes you a blended executive director. And so that's important to know when we start talking about qualifications for stuff. So our first rank up, and she's not on, but Christy's on. Christy, do you want to come on and say anything about Tanya Boyd in your line?
Yeah, sure. Actually just invited her again. She is a busy mom of 2 sweet little girls who just spent, I think she picked them up today from camp for the first time. So anyway, super sweet girl. She is a nurse and just has a heart for people. Her husband, which they don't share this out publicly a lot, and so, but he actually has had some medical where he was taking insulin and he's not any longer. They both have had a great weight loss story and have done super well with changing their habits, and then just really infusing it into their children. I mean, you can tell it in their conversations that they have. And so anyway, just super pumped to have her on, partnering with me and just a part of our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have met Tanya, not in person yet, but through Zooms and stuff like that. And she's got great energy. Definitely a busy mom, but loves Optavia and is excited about the changes and stuff that are happening. So, Christy, just keep an eye if you want to, and I'll try to keep an eye too. If she ends up coming on later, if she wants to share for a minute or two, then that would be awesome. Next up is Joe Best, and I know he's working. But Joe Best hit manager for the first time in July. So his coach, Gail, is up here. She wants to come off and say something about him. He is a pretty awesome guy. I haven't had a chance to meet him personally yet. But Gail, do you want to say anything about Joe?
Sure.
Go for it.
Joe is actually a friend of my husband's, and he had watched Frank and I on our journey on Facebook. Never mentioned it to us. We saw them at right after Christmas time this year. It's either January or February. He didn't even mention it then, but we did talk about our weight loss, and especially Frank. And then probably, I think it was March, he messaged me and was ready to start program. His daughter's getting married in October, his only child. And he wanted to be healthy and feel better and look better for the wedding. So he jumped on and has just killed it. Dropped, his goal was, I think, 40 pounds, and he's, I think, right at 50 pounds now, or maybe even more, and maintaining, and just is so happy and vibrant, and exercising and loving life and bringing on everybody that he can tell about Optavia. So he's a firecracker.
Yes, I love it. And he's one of those that, like, I can definitely second what Gail says from just seeing his Facebook. The guy's hiking, the guy's going camping, the guy's like playing tennis. I mean, dude is like on it. Like, he has had a giant shift in his physical activity since he lost that weight. And I love it. And I've said this before, but it's still like a mental picture I get of him is on the beach with like the Heisman pose with like his where he had lost weight. So if y'all hadn't seen that, it's pretty cool. So Joe Best is doing awesome. Congratulations, Joe. And last but not least is Jeff and Roe Baxter. They achieved the rank of manager for the first time last month. And I don't think Amanda, let me make sure she didn't hop on yet. Okay, Amanda's not on here yet. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Jeff and Jewel from what I know about them. Any of you guys that went to the convention, y'all met Jeff. Jewel wasn't able to go this year, but she is already registered for next year. So she's going to be there with us for sure. I have not met Jewel in person yet, so looking forward to that. But Jeff lost over 100 pounds since March 19th. And then decided to start coaching, and has really, really, like, I think went to convention and just added fuel to his fire, because y'all just this week, in the first week of August, they are already manager already. So they're going to rank up this month. So super excited for them. And, you know, it's not all about ranks, but that just gives us like an indicator of where you're at. But good gracious, these guys have already changed lots of lives, but have already added 7 or 8 clients this week. So they are changing crazy amounts of lives now. So Jeff and Jewel, I know you are driving, but I'd love, if you can, to come off and just talk for a minute or two about what you're loving so far.
Hey guys. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. I can't see you anymore, but we can hear you.
We have had so much fun the last few days, meeting new people and getting to know a little bit about them, and signing them up for the program. And we're so excited about changing lives. It has been wonderful. We're a little tired, but it's been wonderful. So we are so excited. I'm just so excited because Jeff's life has changed. Our life has changed. You know, from him starting at 350 to down to under 250 now. And I'm just so excited. I mean, great things. God has opened up many doors for us, and we're excited to be a team. So we thank you for all the support.
Yeah, thank you guys. We're all very excited for you as well. So I love that y'all love it, and I love that y'all are sharing from your heart and really out to change a bunch of lives. So that's pretty cool. So that's all our rank ups. This is kind of a big meat of what I want to talk about, and I know this is a lot of things, and some of y'all might look at this and go, "Oh my goodness, there's all these things." But I want to talk about this with all you guys because I want to make some decisions here, but also I want to hopefully provide some clarity in these areas for like, what is the point of all these things, right? Like, how are these things supposed to help us, and which things should we be doing, So first of all, let's start with boot camp, right? So boot camp just started last Saturday. That is called Level Up Boot Camp. If you want to be a part of that and you're not, it's just as simple as letting your coach know or messaging me, and I can add you to that Level Up Boot Camp group. Those trainings are 10 a.m. Eastern time for all of us on the East Coast, and they're going to be every Saturday. They haven't actually set a timeline yet as far as like how many weeks. So from what I understand on the first one, it's going to be about a 6 to 8 week training. That's the plan. So boot camp is really, if you are seeking growth as far as becoming a better coach, learning the tools, learning the resources we have, adding structure into your coaching, those types of things, that is what boot camp's about. It's very heavy on this is the things you do to become a better coach, right? So it's a very structural thing. It's not a lot of personal development. It's not a lot of trying to get out of your own way kind of stuff. It's more focused on doing the work and how you're going to do the work. So that is the point of boot camp. And the reason I say that is because everybody isn't in that place right now. So if you're not in a place where you feel like you need that, or you feel like that you have the structure you need, you're really just trying to work on some, your healthy mind, your healthy body, your healthy finances yourself, or grow in some of those areas, boot camp isn't necessarily geared towards that. So if you are trying to decide where to invest your time, to me, boot camp is more for people that are ready to grow their business. You want to kind of push the pedal down and accelerate and grow. If you are happy having the clients that you have right now, or maybe growing by a client or two here and there, that is perfectly fine. First of all, we have no quotas. This is not a sales program. This is a share and care program. So if you're okay moving along at a slower pace, boot camp may not be right for you. Okay. But also want to strongly encourage you, if I am not your business mentor directly, if Christy's your coach, Diane's your coach, Gail's your coach, whatever, those pieces, please talk to them about this. If you want some more clarity, hey, I'm thinking I might want to do the boot camp, but I'm not sure. Let's talk about it, because I promise your coach is willing to talk to you about it and figure out what the best option for you moving forward is. As a group, I am going to promote the boot camp. That is going to be something you're going to see in our coach page. I'm going to continue to invite people the whole time. It's not if you miss the first 2 weeks of boot camp, you're out. You can come in at any time. If you bring on a new coach, please feel free to invite them if they want to go fast and grow a business quickly. It's not exclusive. It is very inclusive. So just feel free to invite. Okay. Team times. So this is one that I really want to get a vote on. So I'm going to be looking to the chat in a minute. But team time has been something we've been trying to work through and try to figure out what's the best thing for everybody. And I'm going to stop share for a minute so I can see you guys what you say. So team time, we kind of had our own team time on Thursday nights, and then I'm gonna go to gallery view so I can see you guys. We had our own team time on Thursday nights, and then we decided to kind of go back and join into a bigger community. So we went into Hiram and Tiana Johnson's team time. That's our presidential directors. We went to their team time. Well, we were only there for about 5 or 6 weeks, and Hiram and Tiana have decided to do the same sort of thing with their business and go into Charlene and Lee's team time. And I know that's a lot of structural things, but basically that's even a bigger family, right? So Charlene and Lee's team time is on Saturdays. It's going to be at 11:30 a.m. That's the coffee and consistency. That is their team time. We also have the option of Thursday nights with Tanya Robinson. So Tanya Robinson is my direct coach. So if you're not familiar with her a little bit, and I know most of you on this call are, but this is recorded, so I want to make sure everybody knows. So Tanya is my direct coach, and Coastal Coaches is the coach team that's kind of a bigger, small community in this area. So pretty much everyone in that group is part of like Eastern North Carolina, except for the little, pieces that are here and there, like Joe in Georgia, that type of thing. That team time is on Thursday nights, and traditionally I think it's around 8:30 p.m. So there's 3 things that we can do here. And I will tell you which one I believe that is on my heart to do, but I really do want your opinion and how you think this will best help your teams, as we move forward. So option A, obviously go with Charlotte and Lee. That's on Saturdays, and we'll promote that only. Option B is Thursday nights with Tanya and her team times, a little bit smaller community. I will say the advantage to the smaller one is there's an opportunity for like Christy and Diane and Candy and Gail and Jeff and Laura and Rhonda, everybody that's on here, the opportunity for you to lead in those team times is higher because it's a smaller community. So if you guys are interested in, as we grow, like being able to jump on there and teach something yourself, the opportunity is higher. The advantage of the bigger team time is your teams will see that the buck doesn't stop with Kevin and Kelly, or the buck doesn't stop with Tanya Robinson, that there's a giant community. There's lots of national directors. There's lots of global directors. There's presidentials. They get to see a bigger picture in a way, a little bit easier. It's kind of like mini convention for me, if I'm in a bigger community like that. I see the opportunity for all these things. So option 3 is we do both. We offer both, and we let people go where they want to go. I will tell you that's my favorite, but that's because I'm going to be on both anyway. So I'm going to be a part of Tanya's, and I'm going to be probably training on that one on Thursday nights, and I'm going to be part of Charlene's, and we'll have the opportunity to talk on there and train some myself. But she's in charge of that one more. So as far as like being able to let you guys have a voice, I don't know how much say so I'll have in that. So please come off mute if you want to talk about it. We can do 1 in the chat for green team, 2 in the chat for Tanya, 3 in the chat for both. Whatever. I see Jeff with 3. Does any 3? Okay. Does anybody? If you guys want to talk about it, please talk about it, because I just want what's best for everyone.
Kevin, I'm with you. I think that having the choice is helpful, because I think team time is important. I think the celebrations are great, but also too. So it really is like a catch-22, but not really, because we are doing this business on our own. This is your choice to make. Coming from a time when we didn't have a choice, when Charlene was our team time, I miss having her teaching. I miss having, not that you guys haven't been great, but just having that. And so I really think people would benefit from hearing that if they have the opportunity to do that. And honestly, if they're on boot camp, it's really kind of the next thing that happens. You get a little break and you can get right back into it. For me, I'll probably will be doing the Saturday just because of the time on Thursday night. But I do agree with you, with the smaller community might be better for some. And I think it's just great to be able to give them the choice to decide which way they want to go. And just by the way, since this is being recorded, there's not a bad choice at all. If you're wanting to be involved, whether you're going to continue to do the business at the pace you're doing it now, or if you want to grow, team time is important. And I've really missed it since we kind of did the 9 o'clock. I'm not on there all the time because I'm in La La Land, but I think it's great to have the options where before, like when we first started, you and I, we didn't have an option. It was either be live or hear the recording later, so I think the option is great.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Christy. I appreciate that so much. I think the only other difference that I can foresee is I know for a fact that Charlotte on Saturdays is going to be a little bit more focused on like taking the information we learned in boot camp and then unraveling it a little bit and making sure that we understand, like if we have questions about boot camp, blah, blah, blah. So if you're not on boot camp, then Charlotte's thing will still be helpful, but it's not a training per se. It's more of a like, let's focus on what we've learned and how are we going to put this to work, which I love. I think that's very important because to me, that's like going to church and then having Bible study, like it's, you put the two pieces together. Tanya's on Thursday nights will be training. I don't know that they're going to train to the boot camps. And it's not, I don't think it'll be heavy training, but it will be another layer of training. Like there's going to be a different topic. So I am off. I didn't see anybody that was against the 3. So I think I'm just going to offer both and try to be clear that it's people's choice. And I'll do a live video in the group. So maybe we can tag coaches and stuff in that and just try to bring some clarity on those two things, because I want people to be able to choose. I want people to understand that this is their own business and that they don't have a boss and that they are able to do whatever they want to do. And if they want to do both, that's great. If they want to do one or the other, that's great. And if they don't want to do any of them, that's okay, that we still love them anyway. And then there's no hard feelings if you don't want to do a team time. Awesome. Okay, so that's the big thing I wanted to talk about for sure. Monday nights with Dr. A. Some of y'all probably know this, but so Monday nights with Dr. A is not really a training. Dr. A, the first part of that is really meant to give you the information that you need as a coach, not necessarily to train you to be a better coach, but to make sure you know what's going on in the company, right? So Dr. Anderson is giving you the information you need as we are receiving that, as to the resources you can use and things like that, but it's not necessarily a training. And those are recorded, right? So if you're not able to be live on that, you can watch those recordings. The training that follows that is field-led. That's not an Optavia-wide thing, but it is offered to everyone. So that is another piece of the training path, but right now they're trying to use the same information, right? It's duplicating. So it's whatever Dr. A talks about, that kind of rolls over into the training call, that rolls over into Wednesday. So even though there's a lot of pieces to that, they're all in sync right now, which is good. Coach support page. Okay, so this is where I want to talk about the message thread. So the coach support page, what we want to do in our coach support page is build community, post about coaching, post questions you have, post tips and tricks about coaching the program. So that is our place as coaches to build community. Coach support message thread. So what we found in there, and hopefully what I relieved from some people, was all the multiple like ding, ding, dings going off all the time. So what I would like to do is we have the one coach support message thread that ideally it's for like executive directors and above, but it's also open to anyone. So anyone that's on here or anyone that's listening to the recording, if you want to be a part of that message thread, I'm trying for that to be more of just an outgoing thing, like not a conversation. So that way what was happening in the other one was if I posted information and there was conversation down here below it, then you'd have to go like 20 messages back to actually see the information that you needed. So it was getting lost in the conversation. And most of you guys work at least part-time, if not full-time. So then you were trying to like scroll back through messages to try and make sure you didn't miss anything. And I really, I'm hoping that I'm going to save you some time and not have to do that. So all the information you'll ever need is definitely going to be on the coach support page. I also post things in the coach support message thread that are easy to grab and share, right? It's a easier thing to like grab that and share that with your team. So as you're growing into a leader, you can just grab the link and send the message to your coaches and your team. So that's kind of the idea there. The best thing, and this is what I've talked to Charlene about as far as our coach support page, if you have information in that page that you want to share with your team as well, go in there and tag your coaches in the comments and then say why you're tagging them, so they will see that there's a message there, and then they can go up and see what they need to see in the actual message. That helps a lot. Or just tag them. I just think it's better to kind of say, Sally Smith, this is great information right here for you to read because of what we talked about earlier, or because you want to know about this, blah, blah, blah. Agents of Transformation page. So that is the coach support page for all coaches in the entire Optavia world. So that is all the coaches all over the country, and now in Singapore, Hong Kong, like we're all in there together. The difference there is that a very information-driven page, you can't create content there. You can't like share tips. You can't ask questions. All you can do is comment on posts. What we've been doing a lot of times is transferring information from Agents of Transformation to the coach support page. And I want to stop doing that. I want to try and I'm going to start tagging you guys in stuff on the Agents of Transformation page so you can go there and see it yourself. And then be able to share that with your team or tag them in the comments as well. And not duplicate information all the time, because that page is great. It's just static. It doesn't create a community. And then client support page, obviously, we're doing those things in there. I will say, if you are a structure person and you are setting aside time in your schedule, which I'm a huge advocate for, try to set aside 10 or 15 minutes a day, or at least a few times a week, to go into the client support page. And if you just want to go in there and type your client names in the search bar and see what they're doing so you can support them, that's awesome. But showing up in there is so important, because that is where we create a community for everyone. That's clients and coaches. So if you can take the time to go in there, even if it's only once a week, and try to, add value in there, or try to support, at least your clients, and I try to get away from that so much, but I do think it's very important that the clients that you are serving see you active in that page, because that encourages them to be active. And when you encourage them to be active in our community, you're fulfilling that piece of what we offer, right? I mean, what we offer is 4 pieces: health coach, fueling plan, the habits of health system, and the community of support. So that community is really key to what we do. So moving forward, please consider doing that as well. Any questions about any of these parts? I'll stop so I can see chat if there's anything in the chat. Nope. No one's got questions? Okay. Moving on. This is the end. So I just wanted to kind of make sure we all knew, or we're on the same page about these things. And this will wrap up with this. I think I have one more slide, but so Fall into Growth Action Retreat. Fall into Action Growth Retreat. Help it. So this is right around the corner, September 19th through the 22nd. This is in Ridgefield, Washington. This is Terry Miller, which is kind of, for lack of a better term, at the top of our line. So she's the integrated presidential that's at the top of our line. She is actually sponsoring this. This is not company-wide. This is directly paid for and sponsored by Terry and David Miller. The qualification period started July 1st. It ends September 5th. And to qualify, you either need to do 10 new clients in that window of time and 5 new coaches, or 20 new clients, 2 new coaches. So once you qualify for that, you receive from Terry and David Miller, as long as you want to go, an all expenses paid trip for you and your spouse or co-applicant. The only thing that's not paid is the spouse's flight. So if Kevin and Kelly qualify, they're going to pay everything for me, and they're going to pay lodging and meals and everything for Kelly except her flight. So if you qualify for this, it's basically everything paid for except for one flight. And that's in Ridgefield, Washington. They're hosting it at their beautiful home they have there. And it's really going to be, just a focused training time in Washington State. So just want to make sure you guys knew about that. Transformational Business Summit, that's November 7th through the 9th in Arizona. The qualification period for that also started in July. So now you have August and September still left. To qualify for that, you have to be a blended ED, which is what we talked about earlier. So if you have questions, please just let me know. But a blended ED for 2 out of 3 of those months. So if you were not blended ED in July, then you would need to be blended ED in August and September to qualify. Or if you have never been an executive director before, you can hit blended ED for the first time in September and qualify. So these, like newer coaches and stuff like that, you can still qualify even though you're growing your business right now. Kelly and I will provide lodging. So anyone that qualifies, we are going to get like an Airbnb or VBRO or whatever house. We're going to pay for the whole house. So you just have to pay for your flights to Phoenix. And there's usually a registration fee. I haven't heard what that is, but last year I know it wasn't very expensive. Babe, do you remember? Like $30 or something? I can't remember. So information.
It seems like they went up because it was like 25 the first year, and then maybe like 50. I don't know. It wasn't that much.
It was 99.
99? Oh. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Well, there you go. So $99 registration. Y'all, this Transformational Business Summit is the best event to me as far as training goes and really learning. It's personal development and action steps to grow your business. It's both. So they do a phenomenal job and bring in top people in our company to knock this out of the park. So if this is something you're interested in, it's amazing. It's a really great opportunity to grow. And then last but not least, ILAP. Obviously April 24th or April 19th through the 24th. It's at Baja Mar Resort in Nassau, Bahamas. And I want every one of you guys to go. Anyone that wants to go, obviously, please, let's partner and do this. The qualification period for that started July 1st. It runs all the way through December 31st. There's multiple pathways. So just go to optiviaevents.com or get with your mentor and figure out which path you're in if you don't know and what the qualifications are. When you qualify for this trip, you get accommodations for 2 for 6 days, 5 nights. You get $1,000 travel credit. You get a $500 resort credit, and the transfers from the hotel to the airport and round trip are taken care of. If you don't know, I want to show you real quick. Someone stop this. Share. You can track this trip in your Optavia Connect. Did anybody know that? If not, I'm going to show you anyway. So let me go to Optavia so y'all can see this real quick. So when you log into your Connect, they have made it where you can track this trip on your Connect, so you don't have to worry about all the little details on paper or something like that. All you do is go to Engage here, and then International Leadership Advancement Trip. Click on that link, and it will load and show you the things that you need to do. So Kelly and I are path 4. So this is the qualification specifically for us. We hit our qualification in July, so that's grayed out, and then now we're qualifying for August. So you can go here, and this will be specific to what you need to do to achieve the trip. So that way you can track everything you need to do for that trip, specifically to you and your path. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that option. So just, again, you log into Optavia Connect, you go to Engage, and scroll down and click on International Leadership Advancement Trip. And that will pull up what you need to do to qualify for this trip. And then this, which I think is so powerful, and we'll wrap up with this, and I'll take some questions and start recording. But this is what Charlotte's been talking about a lot right now, and I think it's really powerful. The only limits we have are weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. And what does that really mean? It means learning to focus our energy and learning to dream big, right? So these are the two things that really limit us as we continue to look forward and try to grow our business and try to help more people, because we're not limited by where we live with Optavia. We can help people all over the country and now all over the world. We're not limited by our transformation, because we have the tools to help people transform regardless of what we're doing or where we're at in our life. So I think it's really powerful to know that if we can just get focused on what we want to achieve and really dream big about what we want to achieve, then there is no limit, because we're breaking through these two things that are the limits of man. So I wanted to finish with that and make sure you guys understood that piece of what we do as coaches. So I'm going to stop share, stop record.